Bem-vindo à minha cozinha. What am I making today? Calzones. I used to make this when my kids were home. And when I came to this country, one of my second jobs that I got was in a pizza place, and we used to make this. So anyway, I'm going to show you, and then I'll talk about it as we go along. I have here 3 cups of flour. This is high gluten flour. That's the flour that they use most likely for pizzas because you want the stretch. So I have 3 cups. I have 1 cup of water, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of yeast. And we're going to mix this. So when I came to this country, we all had to go to work. My first job was working on a walnut plant. And then my second job was waitress. And I waitress on pizza. It was pizza place during the day, and at night was Mexican food. A local family here in my town. So anyway, I'm gonna mix I have 2 teaspoons of sugar, fine salt. I don't like to use the granulated or the kosher salt in baking because sometimes it doesn't dissolve, and not worse to you eating something, you bite into a piece of salt. So anyway, so I'm gonna let my yeast bloom, and I have here 2 tablespoons olive oil that we're gonna add, and I'm gonna move that aside. So now for our toppings and for our sauce. I'm going to use marinade sauce. I make my sauce when I have it. And then I have pesto. So during the summer when I have all my basil full bloom, I cut it, wash it, and then I make it into a pesto. And I freeze it. Sometimes I put it in jars. This one, I already used all the jars. This one was frozen. I'm going to use that for my sauce too. In here I have mushrooms, I have some red onions, and some black olives. That's only way I can eat black olives is like this. And then I have chilies or linguica. I'm using stuff that there are things that I know my husband would like. So I use, I can use sausage, but sometimes he doesn't like some of the sausages. And I have 2 onions in here, 2 red onions. One of them I'm gonna caramelize, and the other one I'm gonna leave it whole. If you caramelize it, they become very sweet. So when my dough is rising, then I'll caramelize my onions. So anyway, so my onions are done. Anyway, so I used to go to work to this pizza place until 2 o'clock. And then I would go home. And then at night, I would go and waitress at a Mexican restaurant. So anyway, so that's what I learned. We made a lot of these. I'm crying from that onion. I've tried every hack that I could think for not to cry when I chop onions. But always none of them work. And I'm always crying. So you want to cut your linguica a little fine. You don't want big chunks of linguica. Or if you have chilies, whatever you like. Like I said, I could have put sausage, but my husband doesn't care for sausage. So anyway, I'm gonna get a bowl for this. I'm still crying. Good thing I don't put mascara, otherwise it would be mascara all over my face. Anyway, so I got the linguica now, and now I'm gonna slice my olives. So when I was home, I used to make a lot of pizza for my kids. They loved pizza, and we couldn't afford to go buy pizza. So I'd make pizza dough. Sometimes I would make it extra and put it in the freezer and then just thaw it out when we needed. So, and we would make pizzas, calzones. My mom used to make stuff, some like this, sometimes with bread, and then you could put leftovers, meats too. This is enough olives for us. So anyway, now I'm gonna work on the dough. The yeast, you can tell, is blooming. So I'm gonna pour my yeast into the flour. I have a cup, but I'm gonna see if I'm gonna need more because this is a different flour. And then I'm gonna put my olive oil. Now some recipes ask for put garlic salt and other stuff on your dough. I'm not. I'm just gonna do just plain dough. And now we're gonna need more flour, more water. I have another cup and a half, and I'm gonna put a little bit at a time. This is one dough you could make in your mixer. And I didn't want to take the mixer out, and so I'm doing by hand. So anyway, so that was my job for at least quite a few years, working those two jobs. And one of my sisters would watch my kids when they were small. That's why I was able to go to work. And it happened, she lived right next to me, so she was able to come to my house and watch my kids. A little bit more. You don't want this too soft, but then you don't want it too hard. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pretend I'm the mixer. And you kind of work that dough, stretching that gluten. I'm gonna let this sit here for a little bit, and then I'll give a hand and we'll put it in proofing. Okay, I'm gonna start caramelizing my onions. I'm gonna put a tablespoon of olive oil, and I'm gonna put most of these onions. I'm gonna leave just some for that. And I'm just gonna put it in my stove on very low heat, and we're gonna let that caramelize slowly. And just once in a while, you just wanna mix the onion to make sure they're all submerged in the oil. And we're gonna let that caramelize. Okay, friends, it's been about 5 minutes, and I'm gonna give a hand to my dough, and I'm trying to stretch that gluten as much as possible. And then, like I said, until it starts pulling from the bowl. Okay, I put some olive oil in this bowl, coat it all with the olive oil. And then I'm gonna put that dough in there. Kind of flip it around. And then I'm gonna put it in my oven on proofing so it'll go faster. Okay. Okay, friend, here's my bread. It has double in size. So now I'm gonna work this. I have this stone that I cook my pizzas. So I'm gonna put this in my oven. I'm preheating the oven to 475, and I'm gonna preheat this, put it in there, and that's where I'm gonna bake my calzones in this. So if you don't have the stone, you can put it a cookie sheet in the oven and then just work on that. So now I'm gonna punch this, so satisfying, and I'm gonna pour this into my counter, and I'm gonna work on this. I'm gonna work in this dough. I have my scraper, and I kind of wanna knead this a little bit. I have some corn flour in here, and I'm gonna put it in the bottom so it won't stick. And I'm gonna divide this. It should give me at least 4 big nice calzones. So I'm gonna cut them and put them aside, and then work one at a time. Put more flour if you have to. I'm just gonna stretch it. You can use a rolling pin. I'm gonna use a rolling pin to stretch. And I have this rolling pin, very cool, that has kind of designs. I don't think it's gonna do anything to the dough. So you kind of want an oval shape, kind of dough, almost like a football. Of course, when we worked in the pizza, we had this dough already all stretched, so we didn't have to do none of this. And those ends are the ones that kind of stay a little bit thicker. So see if you stretch them. Okay, I think this one is good enough. I'm gonna use this one with the marinade sauce. What I'm gonna do, friends, I'm gonna stretch all the dough and put it in this cookie sheet, and then I'll build them. That way I have all my dough stretched and it's relaxed also. It relaxed a little bit. I have a shout out today for Maria Chavez from Revere, Massachusetts. Hello, Maria. Welcome to my channel, and hope you're enjoying watching my recipes. So thank you for watching it. So I'm gonna build my calzones in here because they'll be easier to transport to the oven. So that'll make it easy. And this now, it's up to you, whatever it is you wanna make. Whatever flavor, how much sauce. So I forgot my cheese. Got my cheese in here. So I'm gonna build it in one side of the dough. I'm gonna put some cheese. I buy my cheese at Costco, and then I put it in these containers, and it stays fresh. So don't go all the way to the ends, to these ends, because you're gonna seal those. I'm gonna put some onions, raw onions, and you wanna put a lot of stuff in these. I have some mushrooms. I like to break them even smaller pieces so you don't have big piece of mushroom. Put some linguica. If I had bell peppers, I would put bell peppers. Sausage would be good, pepperoni, salami. So like I said, there's no right way, wrong way. Oh, I forgot something. My Italian spices. This whole Italian seasoning. Add a little bit on top. And put a little bit more cheese. Okay. So now you bring that end to this side and then you seal it. You bring them together. And the dough is just right to, let's see if I can turn it. And then what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna flip the dough and twist it so it stays all sealed in there. I kind of just twist the edges and it stayed. So all that stuff stayed inside. And my oven is ready to go. I'm gonna cut a slit on each of these so to vent it out. Okay, friend, now I'm gonna do the other two. So this one I'm gonna do with the pesto. And you do whatever it is you like. I love pesto pizza. This with some chicken, some mushrooms, delicious. Okay, I'm gonna put some cheese. And then I'm gonna put some of the cooked mushrooms. Some of the more olives. And here is the caramelized onions. I'll tell you, you make that, and if I had more people to eat it, that I would probably make some too. The Alfredo sauce. If you made the Alfredo sauce with chicken and then these caramelized onions, oh my gosh, so good. Okay. Some of this. Here's my first one. And the second one. So now, make sure you have flour on the bottom of your, and we're gonna put this one in. And then my second one. Okay friends, my calzones are done. These are the last ones I took it out. I'm brushing a little bit more olive oil on top. And they smell so good. Ooh, they're so hot. I'm gonna try this one. I had to put it aside to cool off because they're so hot. You need to let them cool off. They're bubbling inside. Whew. I need a plate. I don't like to eat pizza with a fork, but this one is too hot. The dough is crispy. There's crunchy on top. What a nice meal. With a green salad. Look at that cheese. It is so good. Oh my goodness. Now I'm going to try to cut one of the basil ones. Look at this. All that cheese. My favorite part is the crust. I like the ends. We don't need to go out for pizza. That'll be my lunch and my dinner. Oh my goodness. Here it is, another example of how easy it can be to make a nice meal in no time. You can have the dough done ahead the night before, put it in the fridge. The next day, just let it stay out to proof, and then you can make pizza. Make them ahead of time, keep them in the fridge, and then when it's time for dinner, just throw them in the oven. So anyway, you give a try to this recipe. You let me know if this is something you make or if this is something you're custom with. And thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for subscribing, all those subscribers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and share my videos on your social media and with your friends. And tell them, you know, all these good recipes. And until next time, let's get cooking. Have a good day.